what is up, mortals? It is TheLuckyDerp here, and before we get into today's video, there's something I'd like to say. I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go to the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, if you didn't know, only 25% of you guys are subscribed to us, so please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Today we'll be doing more multi-dives, where we will be explaining the quirks Explosion, Engine, Earthflow, Pilabody, Weld, and Half Cold, Half Hot from My Hero Academia. The first quirk we'll be covering is the Emitter type quirk Explosion, which belongs to Katsuki Bakugou, and the quirk allows the user to generate a nitroglycerin-like substance in the form of their sweat, as well allowing the user to ignite the nitroglycerin to create explosions of various sizes. The quirk is seen used in the user's hands, where the explosions are used as an offense and defense weapon that is highly powerful and destructive, typically causing burning or shattering of what it hits. Even though the user is immune to their own explosions, they receive some recoil that only increases the stronger the explosion. However, like all other quirks, Explosion has some weaknesses. For example, during cold weather, it takes longer for the sweat to detonate than in hotter weather. Another disadvantage is if the quirk is overused, they can gradually damage their arms and shoulders, giving a throbbing sort of pain, and their arms will become hurt quicker. Bakugou has also created 5 super moves with his quirk as of writing this. The first being Blast Rush Turbo, where Bakugou puts his hands behind him, then using multiple explosions to propel himself forward so he can fly and away. The second super move is Stun Grenade, where Bakugou uses his explosion to create a sphere of light that implodes, blinding those around Bakugou. Although the Stun Grenade can be used at point blank, which immediately stuns the opponent, leaving lasting damage on their eyes for some time. The third super move is Howitzer Impact, where Bakugou dashes in the air, creating 2 explosions and spinning himself around, building momentum while moving around towards the opponent and when firing an explosive tornado at the opponent. The fourth super move is called Armored Piercing Shot, or AP Shot for short, which is when Bakugou covers up part of one of his hands with his other hand, leaving a circle hole. When firing an explosion through the hole, which concentrates the explosion into a beam, which is when Bakugou covers up a part of his hand with his other hand, leaving a circle hole. Then firing explosion through the hole, which concentrates the explosion into a beam, which is strong enough to break through solid concrete. In addition, there are 2 different types of AP shots, for the first being the auto cannon, which is when Bakugou lessens the power of the AP shot as to not severely hurt people. And the second variation is the AP machine gun, which is a stronger version of the AP cannon, and it is in a rapid succession. The fifth and final super move is called Explodable, where while in the mid-air, Bakugou grabs an opponent by the arm, then firing an explosion with his free arm, causing them to spin, then once fast enough using a final explosion to forcefully throw his opponent. Sadly though, that's all we have on Explosion. Now let's move on to Engine. Engine is a mutant type quirk that has been seen used by the Ida family, although the 2 we will mention in detail are Tenya and Tensei. The quirk gives the user engine-like protrusions somewhere on their body that allows them to go fast. Like all engines, they have mufflers, but these ones can be removed with a new one regenerating in its place after some time, and the new muffler can possibly increase the power and efficiency of their engine, since the engine will naturally adapt to intensity. Although Engine has the same weakness as other engines, since it needs fuel to work properly. Although their fuel is either grape or orange juice, and carbonated drinks can stall the engines. As well, if they don't refuel when needed, the quirk can gradually lose potency until it completely stops working entirely. Side note, Tenya's engines are in his calves, while Tensei's are in the ends of his elbows. Before we get back into the dive, I would like to say that in case you guys didn't know, we're only one of many We the Celestials channels. If you have a sugar tooth for great storytelling, please give our What If channels a visit as well. No matter if it's My Hero Academia What Ifs or Naruto What Ifs, we got you covered. Did we get your attention? Great! Make sure you click the icon at the top right corner or check the description below for the links to the other channels. Now with that out of the way, let's get back into the dive. Moving on to super moves, Tenya and Tensei both use the move Recipro Burst, which allows the user to forcibly accelerate their engines with great enhance their speed for 10 seconds. But after 10 seconds, the engines are disabled for a time to cool down. Focusing on Tenya's super move, he has made 2 of his own. The first is called Recipro Extend, which is when Tenya cools down the negative effects of Recipro Burst, allowing him to gain more acceleration. The second move is called Recipro Turbo, where Ida removes his mufflers, allowing new ones to grow in their place, increasing Tenya's speed for 10 minutes, being quicker than Recipro Burst, Recipro Extend, and even rivaling the speed of the quirk Jet. Moving on to Tensei's self-created super moves. It is called Rocket Charge, where Tensei uses his hero costume to increase his engine's output, increasing his acceleration and launching him into the air like a rocket, although his engine stalls after using this move. Sadly though, that's all we have on Engine. Let's move on to Earthflow. Earth Flow is an emitter type quirk that is used by Ryuko Tsuchikawa, hero named Pixie-Bob. The quirk allows the user to manipulate the earth around them in any way they want. Earth Flow is a large range power allowing the user to manipulate earth from miles away. Although Earth Flow is at a disadvantage in areas where soil is not available for users to manipulate. Pixie-Bob also has a super move we have seen with her use of Earth Flow, called Earth Beast, which is when Pixie-Bob creates a monster made of soil. We have seen her make several at once that she was all able to control. Sadly though, that's all we have on Earth Flow. Now let's move on to Pilabody. Pilabody is a transformation type quirk that is seen being used by Awase Chatora, hero named Tiger, which allows the user to stretch and flatten their body at will, giving them inhuman flexibility, somewhat like Mr. Fantastic or Plastic Man. Pilabody helps the user get through narrow passages, and in combat, it helps the user easily dodge attacks and restrain opponents. Sadly though, that's all we have on Pilabody. Now let's move on to Weld. Weld is a emitter type quirk that is used by Yosetsu Awase, which allows the user to merge both organic and or inorganic things down to the atom level. The user is also able to weld himself to objects as well, and if the user wants, they can reverse the welds. However, the quirk's main weakness is if the user isn't able to touch the person or thing with more than one object. Awase also creates one super move with this weld, which he called Construction Done Quick, Weldcraft, which is when Awase quickly binds an opponent to a structure, hopefully trapping them. Sadly though, that's all we know on Weld. Now let's move on to Half Hot, Half Cold. Half Cold, Half Hot is an emitter type quirk used by Shoto Todoroki, and the quirk allows the user to generate ice from the right side of his body and generate fire from his left. The power is perfectly split down the middle of the user's body, allowing them to have two powerful separate methods of combat. As well, Todoroki is seen having a high resistance to both the cold and heat generated from his body, but if he leans into using one too much, he can get either heat stroke or frostbite, which can be fatal. Another weakness of Half Cold, Half Hot is that if the user uses both quirks at once, it almost completely stops them from moving, although this might be from the lack of experience from Todoroki. Todoroki also has made 3 super moves that accommodate his quirks. The first is called Heaven Piercing Ice Wall, where Todoroki generates a giant ice-like wave of ice that can vary in size. The second super move is called Wall of Flames, which is when Todoroki generates a burst of flames covering a large area. The third and final super move is called the Flash Freeze Heat Wave, which is when Todoroki cools the air around him and then using his fire to rapidly heat the air, which allows him to release a superheated fire blast. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Now there's a few more things I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time. So if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Lastly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer of this video, as well as the audio and video editor for this video. Their details are in the description below. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or you're interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up the heads of those areas. We're always looking for members to join us. That's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit that like button if you liked the video. Until next time, peace out mortals, have an amazing day.